Yes, Krishita Purun. Let's start.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
When the world, when the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Honorable Provost Professor M. N. Patel, our luminary judges for today's magnificent National Elocution Competition, Mr. Kamal Singh, Under Secretary of National Legal Service Authority, New Delhi, Dr. Babu Gonda Patil, presently an associate professor at B.M. Sarogar College of Law and also former director of Legal Aid Society, Dr. Akhil Syed Sir, Dean of Parul Institute of Law, Parul University, Mr. Om Prakash Sir, Head of Technical Events Cell, Parul University, Dr. Kalpesh Gupta Sir, Faculty Coordinator for this event, and all the enthusiastic participants who are determined to rock this platform. This is Krishita Kachawa,
This is Bhumi Patel.
and we are going to be your host for the day. We heartily welcome you all.
Parul University has been established as a Parul Group of Institute in 1992 and received the status of university in 2015. We proud to claim that it is the first university in India to have all its six constituent Ayush colleges accredited by National Creation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers (NABH). The facilities and the awards won by the university has attracted students not from only India but 50 countries across the world. Speaking of variant streams, our university has acted in this field with over 45 faculties and under 21 streams. The university is really vibrant in all its terms.
Today, we all are gathered here to witness the final round of the extravagant event called the National Elocution Competition. The top 10 participants from the preliminary round have been conducted today in the morning hours are present here to put their valuable thoughts, argue and agree on various points under the broad head of the topic Legal Aid in India, Issues, Challenges and the Way Forward.
Now, let me introduce the leading person who has organized this competition, Dr. Kalpesh Gupta sir. He is an associate professor of law from Parul Institute of Law. He is a vibrant teacher and prolific researcher. He has done his PhD in law from GNLU Gandhinagar. He is a former academic associate at IIM Ahmedabad and he has about 17 years of work experience in area of law. Welcome, sir. We will be pleased to hear from you some words of wisdom.
Thank you very much, Bhumi and Krishita. Respected Professor, Professor M.N. Patel, respected Dean, Professor Dr. Akhil Syed, our esteemed guest for the day, Kamal sir from the National Legal Services Authority, New Delhi, and Patil sir from the Salgaonkar Law College. We have done extensive work in the legal aid area. Miss Mansi Saab from the technical department, and dear students, participants, and ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate all the students who proceeded to this final round of this elocution competition. And I've been receiving these messages since morning, and for last few days, like I have chosen very good topic for this. Legal aid. Day before yesterday, we have a legal awareness program on the access to justice and tele law and then Nyaya Bandhu Dira scheme that related to legal aid. But there are a lot of issues and challenges are there, and I have witnessed a few students they come up with very good idea regarding their thought on legal aid, what can be done, what are the issues and challenges, and they put their in within 3 minutes. It's very difficult to put all the thoughts in that time period, but they did wonderful job. And we have been talking and we have been guiding all the students do something for the society through the legal aid while they are in the law schools, and they can really help them in the future, like as a like being a lawyer is a noble profession. It's not for the money making, but you have to do something for the society. So with this note, I welcome all of you and congratulate once again and all the best for the final rounds. Over to you, Bhumi and Krishita.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would like to introduce Dr. Akhil Syed Sir, Director of Parul Institute of Law and the Dean of Faculty of Law, Parul University. Sir has done his MSc in Physics, LLM in Business Law, and PhD in the area of Public-Private Partnership. He has 25 years of blended experience of academics and research before the High Court of Gujarat. Sir, we are highly pleased to have you with us, sir. I request you to address the gathering.
Thank you, Ms. Krishita. Respected Honorable Provost Sir, our learned guest for today's special program and who are going to extend their services as a judge, Mr. Kamal Singh Sir and Professor Patil. I am very much thankful for both the dignitaries to spare their valuable time and be here. Sir, it's a tradition at our institute to mentor and groom the student in all the aspect of life, not only in legal education or in grooming their soft skill, but also to make them prepared for the next generation and all the challenges of the globalization across the world. And that is what is the step with our technical event cell. We have collaborated and organized this today's event. In addition to that, let me extend the other activity of Parul Institute of Law, that we as an institute also already been engaged in so many legal aid activity. And when I learned about the Professor Patil, so he has definitely set a benchmark on this. And Shri Kamal sir would also appreciate that at Faculty of Law, Parul University also, we do have our legal service cell. We have been associated with not only one DLSA, but nearly 8 DLSA in nearby districts. And that is how we have already expanded our horizon and the scope of legal aid. Today, I'm sure with all this content and stuff, all the students and the students from the other university would also make their show best. I wish all my students all the best. And once again, thanking to both the dignitaries. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Bhumi.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, firstly, for your precious words. And
So, in the line next, I would like to introduce Professor M.N. Patel, Provost of Parul Institute of Parul University. He is a passionate educationalist and a visionary who had made a significant mark in the scope of higher education within the ambit of Gujarat and India. Sir, I owe it to you and request to you to say a few words and make our today's event more successful.
Namaskar to one and all. I welcome two of our expert guests, those who have spared their valuable time and support us in our activity. Especially this is in the final round, as it is said by Professor Kalpesh Gupta, and as it is mentioned by Dr. Akhil, that so many activities are going on at Parul Institute of Law. Similarly, this one good on activity through the technical events here, where in morning also I said that it is a catalyst that they are insisting to have some technical, under the banner of technical event, or program to various institutions, various departments. So this thing is really the add-on. And as we see that the overall development of student is a need of a day. Whatever we are teaching to award the degree may not suffice in order to stand in competition or competitive market. So the student should feel proud and should be motivated or inspired only when we are giving something beyond that, to which you can say they're thinking out of box and something which is beyond that syllabus and so. So like that way, Parul Institute of Law has arranged so many such programs. I am the witness of that, and that some of the quiz which I have seen last time, that was really worth, and even to learn something, people like me, where I am hearing that question and which was answered by the students. Well, my experience has so far in two state big university, that there are several legal issues we are facing. And our registrar is always to be there on High Court, because there every day one case is coming up. Then whenever the new universities, state universities are coming up at that time, because I am talking 6-7 years back, then I requested government that at least you sanction as the post of vice chancellor, post of registrar. Similarly, you sanction the post of legal officer, because one person should constantly be needed in order to solve the issue which comes, because nowadays it's at time of RTI where so many things is coming and where we have to provide the answer as per the norms. But if it is not properly answered, then also may keep some legal complications. So in order to have that, lot of thing to be learned by officers, those who are holding the office. So naturally, one supporting officer like a legal officer from every university, and then after government has given legal officer to new all university. So like that way, the awareness, and as today you are going to discuss that legal aid, that issue, and to how to take way forward. That is what the discussion topic is. I hope so that various issues are to be discussed as a case study and maybe taken care how to resolve it, how to find out the solution of that problem. But otherwise, legal issues are become day by day more and more, because we are now adding with the cyber crimes. So issues are going more and more, and the solution of such issues are also not maybe properly addressed. So hope so that how to address such issues. Maybe some discussion takes place and our expert will give some of the tips and some of the ideas so that our student or participant may learn from that. So my best wishes to entire team, and hope so that good thing has come out from this program, and something learning may also come out which will help student to build their confidence. So my best wishes again to the Institute of Law along with the entire team. Pariksh Rai has also joined. It's a good sign for me to see him on the screen. And this is a good device that our technical event cell, which is working as a catalyst, so that we are going for more and more. Every day, at least we have 2 programs going on in the parallel university. So my best wishes again to everyone, and hope so that there is a great success of this event. Thank you very much. Over to Bhumi.
Thank you so much, sir, for your precious words. My dear people, the time has come to meet our luminary judges of the day, Mr. Kamal Singh, who has completed MA Sociology, LLM, Diploma in Office Management, Diploma in the Hardware and Networking, and presently pursuing PhD on the topic Access to Justice in India. Joined the government office on session in 1996 and also worked in Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, Netaji Subhash Technical University, Delhi, Central Bureau Investigation, Delhi, District Court, Delhi Legal Services Authority, and presently working as Under Secretary in National Legal Service Authority. I welcome you, sir. Kindly enlighten us with your words.
Thank you, Bhumi. Thank you very much for your kind words. I would like to thank Parul Institute, Parul University, especially to the officers and the professors and the organizers who has who is organizing national elocution competition for the students, basically on the access to justice topic, which is a vast topic in India, because as earlier sir told Professor Aman Patel sir, because he has told that what is the activities being done by Parul University, has told Kalpesh sir and Akhil Syed sir. I would like to thank Parul University to invite me to be a part of this competition, and I would thank Professor Aman Patel sir, Professor Dr. Akhil Syed sir, Dr. Pallavi Khedkar sir, and Dr. Bhaguna S. Patil sir, Professor Om Prakash Shukla sir, and Dr. Kalpesh Kumar and his team, because it's a teamwork basically, and we are working for the students, those who are in legal field, and the legal aid is a basic topic to impart that basic knowledge to all the students, those who are completing their law, because the basic we can say we are helping those who are not needy people at the grassroots level. So we are opening, the NALSA has opened various clinics, legal aid clinics in all the colleges. So we are supporting at that level also, at all levels. And as Kalpesh sir and others told that you are associated with our 8 district legal services authority. It's a fantastic work, because we have the workforce. We have enrolled our students, law students as paralegal volunteers also. We are paying for them. So most of them are most students are associated with NALSA's activities. So it's a great pleasure to me to be here in this competition. I thank all of you here in the board, and especially for the students, those who have participated in this competition. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words. Our second judge for the day is Dr. Babugona Patil, presently Associate Professor at VM Salugar Law College, have been the part of the institution for last 2 decades. He is also a faculty for LLM program of Research Center and also the director of Moot Court Society of the college. He is furthermore the editorial board of the Salugar Law Review. He is also the member of the steering committee of the Child Right Clinic on the college. I welcome you, sir. Kindly enlighten us with your words.
Thank you very much. Thank you for nice words about me. And today it is proved beyond doubt that India is a vast country because none of you pronounced my name correctly. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine because that's why Fish takes in an easy way. Call me Patil.
That's why I address you only Professor Patil.
Yeah, sorry.
I was knowing my limitation.
I'm extremely sorry.
Yeah, no, not at all a problem because India is a vast country and the pronunciation change from place to place and names also become weirder and weirder when you go from one place to another place. So in Goa, I have seen that people are getting agitated just because in Goa we insist on surname, but in some parts of India, girls never get a surname because they are Kumari and after that their husband's name comes after marriage. And here registering for the school becomes an issue. That's again one kind of a legal aid that we have worked on because whenever the migrant community comes and there is a tussle between the government and the migrant community, we step in and work towards it. And I congratulate Parul University. This is my first association with you all. I have never been to Parul University, but at least now I'm virtually associated with you. And I thank Kalpesh for giving me this opportunity to judge this event. Topic that you have chosen is definitely really a vast one because when you look into legal aid and we are talking of three important things, that is the issues, challenges, and the way forward. So the speakers who are going to come today, I expect them to cover all the 3 aspects of the topic that you're going to speak on. Giving weightage to one part of it, ignoring the other will not be helpful to you because you have to do justice to the topic as a whole. It cannot be that you do one part exceedingly well and ignore the other one. This is just a few suggestions for the participants. And I congratulate Parul University for taking up such a beautiful topic in a trying time, because this is the time when everybody talking about medical help, but in the meantime there are many issues, legal issues that are cropping up, that there are 578 children who lost both their parents. Now they needs to be adopted. Now people are coming up with the advertisement in the WhatsApp and Facebook, which is outrightly illegal, because there is CARA, that is Center for Child Adoption Center. You have to go through the process. People are not aware about it, so we have to go educate them and put them into that process for adoption. These legal issues are cropping up one by one, and it's going to be really challenging for NALSA as well as for the law colleges, DLSAs in the near future. When the pandemic passes over, then the legal issues will crop up. So I hope we will stand up to the challenge and live up to the expectations of the people. With these few words, I just want to hand it over to Krishita and others. I hope I am pronouncing you well, Krishita. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words. Now I would like to invite Mansi Shah ma'am from Technical Event Cell to say a few words.
Yes. Bhumi, am I audible?
Ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Thank you, Bhumi, for inviting me in your event.
First of all, I am very thankful to Honorable Provost of Parul University, Dr. Amin Patel sir, for taking time from his busy schedule and joining with us today. And I also welcome Dean of Faculty of Law, Dr. Akil Sayed sir, Academic Director, Dr. Pallavi Khedkar Madam, jury of today's event, Mr. Kamal Singh sir and Dr. Babu Goda S. Patil sir, and all the participants. We are blessed that our university works with students and faculty as a unity, same as technical event cell coordinators work with technical event cell and the institute. This event includes different type of events like allocation, debate, extempore, and etc. Technical event cell organizes events and works upon the current affairs. It motivates students and helps to build their path. So I congratulate to today's event coordinator, Dr. Kalpesh Gupta sir, and also wish best of luck to all the participants. Over to you, Bhumi.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your words. So it's the time for beginning with the objective for which we have gathered here. Therefore, I would like to humbly seek the permission of our Honorable Provost sir to begin with the competition. Sir, please can we begin with our competition?
He seems to be busy. On behalf of Honorable Provost sir, I request to go ahead and proceed.
Okay, thank you, sir. I request you all to keep your cameras on and mic off throughout the event.
Let us quickly revise the rules and regulations for the final round of national debate competition. First, all the participants are strictly asked to keep their camera on while speaking. Each participant will get 3 minutes to speak. Decision of the judge and the committee will be binding on all the participants. And last, participants are not allowed to refer anything while speaking.
Let me make it very clear that all the rules mentioned are strictly required to be followed, and any diversion from the rules might lead to your disqualification also. I hope that I am clear with all the existing rules for this competition. If anyone have any query, then please ask it now. Okay, so assuming that there is no more questions arising in your mind and you all are clear with the rules and regulations for this competition, let us begin our war of opinions. Prior to calling our participants on the stage, I urge all the participants to humbly maintain the decorum and always keep in mind there is difference between expressing your opinions and being rude.
So our first participant is Miss Priya Gupta. Your time starts now. Am I audible?
Yes, I'm audible.
So please start now. Your time starts now.
Thank you. 7th century ago, the term equal justice was marked in the 14th para of Magna Carta, which stated, to no one we will shall, to no one we will deny or delay right or justice. However, it was in the 20th century when the concept of legal aid was developed. The Constitution of India under 1339A mandates for the free legal aid to the poor and weaker section of the society. In every state, a legal service authority is constituted to give effect to the policies and direction of the central authority NALSA, to give help to the poor people and to conduct Lok Adalat in the state. Section 304 subsection 1 of CRPC and section and order 33 rule 17 of CPC also deal with free legal aid. Issues under legal aid: lack of awareness. People are still not aware of their basic right, due to which the movement of legal aid has not achieved its goal yet. In Sukhdev versus Union Territory of Arunachal Pradesh, it was held that the magistrate and the session court must inform the accused who appears before them, who is not presented by a lawyer, on the account of poverty, that he is entitled to free legal services at the cost of the state. In Sheela versus State of Maharashtra, it was held that the police must inform the nearest legal aid committee about the arrest of a person immediately about such arrest. poor quality of services is provided. The services provided by the advocate panel is also nominal and not effectual. Time expended by a panel advocates on a free legal aid cases is very less compared to the time expended by them on private cases. Many times they also withdraw from the legal aid cases by submitting a reason to the secretary member. Third point of that is lack of participation of the students. The students are still not aware of the events happening in their university. Even if they are aware, they are not very participate. In some university, they are not allowed to participate in legal select. Fourth, remuneration paid to the advocates by the legal aid committee is very less, and sometimes do not even match advocates' initial expenses. Challenges, even though costly services are offered by the private advocates, in spite of it, people choose to go for that private advocates, because even by the poor segment of the society, because 75% of the people are the opinion that free legal aid service should be used when there is a lack of resources to engage a private lawyer. Second, 22.6% of the people of the opinion not to approach the free legal consent for the second time. There's a lack of skill among the panel advocates, and there is a trust deficit among beneficiary towards the panel advocates. What is the way forward? There should be a lack it is the time, it is a need of the hour that there should be the poor and illiterate people should be educated about their basic right, and it should be done from the grassroots level of the country. Second, the improving the selection process of panel advocate to ensure the selection of committed advocates, compel the panel advocate not to withdraw from the cases in middle, free legal aid cases in middle. Thirdly, periodic assessment of the performance, and if not satisfied, delist the panel advocate on the basis of that. Fourthly, remuneration paid to the panel advocate should be increased yearly.
Priya?
To conclude, yes.
Your time is up.
Thank you. To conclude, just a minute. To conclude, I would just like to say that legal aid is not a charity or bounty, but is an obligation of the state and the right of the citizen. Every state should provide equal justice to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the next participant is Shairu Zanik. I repeat, Shairu Zanik.
Yes.
Can you please turn on your camera?
Yeah, I did. Am I audible as well as visible?
Yeah.
Yes, you are audible.
You can begin.
Yeah, thank you. 7,000 years ago, when Hanuman was presented before Ravana because he burnt Lanka, Vibhishan was the only first and oldest amicus curiae who made Ravana aware of Hanuman's rights. What do we get from this? Of course, legal aid, but also access to justice. They both go hand in hand. Like access to justice leads to legal aid leads to access to justice, and also access to justice needs legal aid. In India, there are 39% people who face legal problems, but only 17 to 18% get it resolved. In spite of being the largest democracy in the world, we aren't able to protect the marginalized of a country. There may be several reasons for this. Illiteracy, poverty, lack of legal aid, lack of awareness. This reminds me of Marx's concept of haves and haves not. And we have the haves not in abundance, right? Because of these very reasons, the haves not end up in prisons. And these are the people who think that the legal structure is a castle with high walls and closed doors for anyone who isn't a legal insider or who doesn't have plenty of money. The very fact that legal system isn't staggered in the favor of the rich and powerful, and only those can afford lawyers, this very concept is a cornerstone of our society. Now, you would ask me, what are the legal provisions regarding this? Believe me, there are many. In spite of all these provisions, we haven't arrived at a total justice system yet. We are still in the process of evolution. Because the law schools, may it be any school, colleges, the society, they have pushed us into lucrative spaces of their preconceived notions. And before we know it, we are just stuck over there. We stop analyzing, thinking, and questioning about it. Now, instead of being a problem-centric crowd over here, let's be some solution-oriented individuals and look into some practical aspects. In my opinion, there are 3 A's that need to be followed. First is awareness, second assertion, and third is adequate steps need to be followed over here. Precisely, in India, income is the only yardstick that is used to measure the beneficiary of legal aid, right? But in foreign countries, they use the means test, which also includes the property along with income. So I think this is a more profound and modern way to think about. Secondly, a bottom-up approach should be followed, wherein the Gram Panchayat should hold legal literacy programs. The Gram Sevak should be capable enough to give some at least basic legal advice, and the BDOs can keep a track of it. Secondly, in rural areas, they have ASHA workers for healthcare. Why don't we have legal workers for legal care? Since women are at the marginalized society or at the receiving ends of, in many of the cases of legal aid, why don't the Ministry of Women and Child Development look into it? I'll just conclude. So why don't we have a helpline number for every district for legal care? As they have World Health Program, why don't we have a universal legal coverage? The law schools also play a very important part. And let access to justice not be only an experiment for law schools. Let it be a full-fledged rebellion for the upliftment of our country and for the betterment of our country. Let it be a motivation for students to conquer up to the ethos of justice for all. Thank you. With this note, I conclude.
Thank you. Our next participant is Minakshi M. I repeat, Minakshi M. So are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So please turn on your camera.
It's on. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
audible.
you are audible and visible both.
Okay. So your time starts now. Yeah, you can
Legal
start.
aid is fundamentally important in a democratic, civilized society, said by Jeremy Corbyn, a British politician. My warm greetings to all. In the first place, I would like to thank the organizing committee for bringing up such an important topic for today's competition, which is very much needed during this pandemic threat. That is legal aid in India, the issues, challenges, and the way forward. Law is present in our daily life. Whatever we see around us, everything is connected with the law. It deals with our work, family, finances, shelter, and more, which is very obvious that we may meet up with legal issues that may be a civil or the criminal one. Very few people have the tendency to handle these issues on their own, but majority of people lack of knowledge in handling these legal issues, especially the poor, illiterate, and the backward community people. Wait, now you may all think that already we have right to free legal aid guaranteed under Article 39A of our Indian Constitution. But to be honest, how many of us know about this free legal aid even before studying the Constitution? Only very few of us, right? The real challenge is that to make people aware of their fundamental right with respect to free legal aid also. So, in the year 1987, the Parliament enacted the Legal Services Authority Act, recommended by the committee headed by Honorable Justice P.N. Bhagavati. We have such a well-planned structure that was constituted under this act. At the apex level, we have National Legal Services Authority, that is NALSA. Below that, we have State Legal Services Authority, and then we have District Legal Services Authority. Apart from this, we also have Taluka Legal Services Committee, Supreme Court and High Court Legal Services Committee, and Lok Adalat as well. The major challenge is to take these available resources into the people's mind. That is, lack of public legal education and legal awareness. There are other issues like lack of support by advocates and lawyers, lack of power to the Lok Adalats, low budget allocations, etc. To achieve the goal of creating awareness on free legal aid, we can involve and increase more NGOs as well. We have been celebrating National Legal Services Day on 9th November every year. We can take this opportunity and appoint famous celebrities to spread awareness. We can also create memes containing the information regarding the free legal aid. Also, the other important thing is the state should take the initiative to add this as a part of syllabus for school children as well, and also to increase the budget allocation. What we usually do, if one of our friends don't follow our account, we'll call and tell them, do you follow my page? Yes, exactly the same action should be taken here as well. And finally, we lawyers should unite and put our hands together to complete this mission successfully. I would like to quote one of the couplets from Thirukkural, which is very much relevant here.
Your time's up.
தாளாண்மை என்னும் தகைமைக்கு தங்கிற்றே வேளாண்மை என்னும் ஜெருக்க, which means in strenuous effort doth reside. The power of helping others is noble pride. Thank you for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi. So our next participant is Naima Smith Joseph. Naima Smith Joseph, are you there?
Yes.
So you can begin with your speech.
Thank you. I get a wound in my body. I have a doctor to heal it. I get a wound in my rights. Will there be anyone to heal it? Greetings to one and all in this precious day of hope. Hope, the term which has desperately withered away to fantasy. While rights became just clauses and sentences in our constitutional book, dusted and dumped of no use for the poor. Because I did once think how medicines were for the sick. Article 39A of the Constitution of India provides for free legal aid to the poor and weaker section of the society and ensure justice for all. Article 14 and 22, Clause 1 also makes it obligatory for the state on basis of equal opportunity for everyone in the eyes of the law. Now let's look on to the history. In 1987, Legal Service Act enacted by the Parliament, which came into force on 9th November 1995 to establish a nationwide uniform network for providing free and competent legal service for the poor. In the case of Hussain Era Khatun versus State of Bihar, it was held that if any accused is not able to afford legal service, then he has a right to free legal aid at the cost of the state, according to Section 304 of CRPC 1973. Persons whose annual income doesn't exceed 1 lakh are eligible for the services. Then what is lacking in this issue? Within women and children, the main challenge is not reporting of the cases which is related to the social stigma happened to them, their illiteracy, fear of approaching the justice system, while authorities like Lok Adalat doesn't have powers as much as like civil courts. Now it's the time to structure the future policy, enhancing the counseling process of the poor children in our villages as law students. While India should also introduce a 5-year plan for legal education, implementing speedy trial in the most efficient way, giving advocate training for the law students not to take their career as a business, rather to give importance to ethics and honesty. Additionally, helpline number 181 was issued to provide women with legal aid by the DLSA of Chandigarh. And I strongly emphasize on all the states should implement the same plan. Last but not the least, as Martin Luther King once said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. And I today here tell it to you, injustice will not drive out injustice, only justice can do that. Let's not limit ourselves to remember the importance of legal aid only on 9th November. Rather, let us enhance and embrace it every single day. Thank you.
Thank you, Niyama. So our next participant is Dinesh Chaudhary. I repeat, Dinesh Chaudhary. Are you there?
Yes, absolutely. I'm here, and it is Dinesh Chaturvedi. Minor correction.
Okay, sorry.
No problem. Tell me when the time begins.
Your time starts now.
Okay. So greetings to the faculty members, the jury members, and all my fellow participants. The topic is very vibrant, and I would like to point out with the first topic that the legal aid is such a beautiful word, because it is like the first aid which is provided to an injured person, and it can prevent major damages. If the people receive legal aid at the right time, and their problems could be minimized, and the workload on the court and the judiciaries can also be reduced. The challenges and the issues that the legal aid is facing is very much can be condensed to fewer topics, like the legal awareness, that the middle class, the lower class are not at all aware about the legal aid. I can vouch about it personally, because I know that my family, which is a middle class family and everyone is educated, they do not know that there is a service of free legal aid. So how do we expect the illiterate and the marginalized section to know such a thing? The second is when the authorities are not proactively reaching out to the masses, the masses which are in the need of legal aid. So if the government starts to do audio visual programs, not just written announcements or not just posters, because most of the people might be illiterate, audio visual advertisements, roping in major celebrities, and the radio announcements like kind of thing should be used to aware the masses. Next, I would like to suggest a very little but very effective method, that the SIM cards that are sold, they should have pre-saved toll-free helpline, legal helpline number, like we have for the ambulance and the police. Such a thing would send the number, the help at just one call away to the people. The next, I would like to suggest a solution, that the Anganwadi workers, the Disha workers, should be asked to identify the households which have domestic violence problems or other kind of legal issues. The problem is when the legal aid reaches out to people, they are reluctant to take the help. They fear the police. Like Attorney General Robert Kennedy said, that the poor man sees law as an enemy, not as a friend. They always fear that the law is going to snatch away something. But the poor people, they know the Anganwadi workers personally. They trust their word. So the Anganwadi workers can help them, make them aware. And the Anganwadi workers can report the legal issues the people are facing in the smaller localities or the slums to the authorities. And the authorities should have to reach proactively to the masses, because masses, the poor people do not have the time and resources to leave the day's work, because they are just feeding hand to mouth. So they cannot leave the work and go to the authorities to find help. The authorities have to reach. The second thing is the money problem. It is threefold. The fund given to legal service authority is very low. The fee payment paid to the councils is very low. Since the councils are demotivated, they are not interested. Like in the case of Mohammad Hussain versus State of Bihar, the council did not do its job properly. The council did not cross-examine the witness, and the accused was not provided proper legal help. Why? Because legal counsels are demotivated, because they are not paid well. They have faced legal strain because of the expensive legal study during their education time, but they're not paid well.
Finish your time's up.
Okay, I would like to suggest that there should be credit courses in the university, so that more and more students can engage with the legal work. They should be given the experience of the district courts. All the law students I know, they are directly imagining themselves in high courts and supreme courts. But why not the district courts? And there should be legal expert teams of judges. The Supreme Court judges should guide the states, and the High Court judges should guide the cluster of districts, so that the expert advice trickles down into the system and reaches the ground. We cannot leave the masses up to themselves, because we have to reach out to them. The illiterate and the people in need do not know that what they have the right for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next participant is Ruhani. Ruhani, are you there?
Yes. Am I audible and visible?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're audible and visible.
Yeah. So may I start? Hello.
Yeah,
may I
you can.
start?
Yeah, you can.
So, injustice in a particular area is threat to the justice everywhere. A very pleasant good afternoon to one and all present here. Respected dignitaries, eminent seniors, and all my dear friends. Today, I, Ruhani, would like to put light on a very great topic, so-called the legal aid, its issues, challenges, and the way forward. So basically, as very beautifully remarked by the political philosopher Charles de Montesquieu, in the state of nature, every person is equal before the law, but still the society does not let this equality to be continued. So the only means that people have to ascertain and to recover their rights is the law. And on the other hand, legal aid act as one of the means to gather or to recover all of us rights. What is a basic idea behind this word legal aid? Legal aid is basically free access legal service to the poor and the weaker section of the society or weaker section of the country, to with the object in mind to make them sure and to with the object in mind to make them sure that the people are exercising rights which have been provided to them by the law under Article 39, Part 5th of the respected Constitution of the India. It is formally written that in the operation of the legal system, which promotes justice, is on the basis of the equality. So protection of the law is very important, and I must say very important, and also the legal aid is very important to maintain the social justice everywhere within the country. Now, what are the issues basically behind this topic, so-called the legal aid? The first and the foremost, when I talk about the grassroots level, then the first and the foremost issue regarding this topic is that people are not aware about the existence of this legal aid. People are not aware that even something like legal aid exists in their existence. The second thing is that people think the people who basically know that legal aid exists, they basically think that it is not relevant. It is like incompatible to the quality service. Thirdly, the legal assistance has not been provided very finely. Means there are very less authors to do this act. And fourthly, the lawyers which are basically there to do this act, to make sure that the people are exercising rights and they are getting free legal service, are basically not so interested because of the financial constraints. So what can be the reason? What can be the measure to solve this issue? Firstly, the people must know the basic rights. People are not even aware about their rights. So many women in the very low caste or weaker section of the society are facing.
Ruhani, your time is up.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So I would like to conclude that, of course, there are many challenges in every country. Of course, there are many challenges, but the main thing is we must adhere to the topic. We must adhere to the legal aid, and it must be properly implemented, because a poor has always seen a law as an enemy. Why don't we come and take a step forward to let them know that no, law is not an enemy, it can be ally too. Thank you so much. Hello.
Thank you so much, Ruhani. So our next participant is Bharadwaj Singh. Bharadwaj Singh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning good afternoon to one and all. So today I will be presenting on the topic of legal aid and issues related to that with certain suggestions. So starting with my topic, I would say that judiciary is one of the important pillars of democracy among all the four, and functioning of any democracy is dependent on the judiciary itself. For this, equal access to equal justice to every citizen is very necessary. Now, access to justice system is not about improving an individual's access to courts or guaranteeing him a free legal representation, but it can be termed as the ability of a person to seek a resolution through formal and informal institution of justice in compliance with the human rights standards. In absence of such access, the individual might lose faith in the system, as well as he might also lose faith in the democracy, which is detrimental to the democracy of the nation, as the rights of the citizens gets violated and discrimination among the citizens might happen. So for this, the concept of legal aid was coined, and as per Justice Bhagwati, the legal aid according to him was something that provides such a mechanism to an indigent person, resulting to which he can get easy access to the machinery of administration of justice. In India, under several provisions, the legal aid and the mechanisms to provide the legal aid has been established, where the foremost provision is of Indian Constitution under Article 14, that gives equality before the law and equal protection of the law. Also under Article 21, it's been stated that state cannot deprive any citizen from his life and liberty unless and until it is done under the procedural aspects of the law, and it was also seen in the case of Zanara Khatun versus State of Bihar, as well as Sheila Bhase versus Union of India, where it was stated by the Supreme Court that a speedy trial is implicit under Article 21 itself. Also under Article 22, it's been stated that legal aid should be provided to a person who is detained and a legal representation should be given to him. Article 39A also asks the state to secure operation, or also mandates the state in itself that the operation of legal system and promotion of justice shall be done, and also on the basis of equal opportunity and free legal act, the state should make certain legislation to support it. Also CRPC under section 304 and order 33 of the CPC states that legal aid should be provided to the indigent person. Now, a special legislation of Legal Service Authorities Act was been passed in 1987, under which several institutions were established in the national, state as well as district regime, that were the legal services authorities at the several levels that were established, and under section 12 it was been stated.
Nitish, your time is up.
It's up? Hello?
Sorry, your time is up.
Okay. Can I just take a minute?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So I will just describe in brief the issues. So the first and foremost issue is lack of awareness, because 95 crore of the Indian population live in the villages, and also the lack of devotion by the legal counsel is one of the major issues, because they spend around 10 hours for the legal aid purpose, as per a survey by Professor Mann, who is Director of Center of Transparency and Accountability. And also the lack of staunchness among the LSAs is one of the major issues. The suggestions that I would suggest is of a national legal insurance scheme that would provide legal insurance to the beneficiaries of middle class as well as indigent person, and contributory legal protection scheme that can also help at the level of villages. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So now I'll request the next participant, Nitish Sharma. Nitish Sharma, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible and visible both.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So first of all, a very good afternoon to all the respected dignitaries present here. So as far as today's topic is concerned, that is legal aid in India, issues, challenges, and the way forward. See, in 2018, we participated in a survey which was conducted by National Law University, New Delhi. And we tried to analyze the impact of free legal aid services which are being provided to the poor people, in which we interviewed some prisoners also. We also interviewed lawyers, and at last we interviewed some persons who were in need of legal aid. So the study revealed, as far as the prisoners were concerned, we came to know that though they were being provided with free legal aid service, but lawyers, they were still demanding money from them. And a prisoner, he said that I have already paid 70,000 rupees to the lawyer, though I am being availing free legal aid. And second issue which was raised by them was that the lawyers, they are not taking that much pain in putting their case forward, like they are taking in other cases in which they are earning good amount of money. And thirdly, they raised the issue that the senior experienced lawyers, they are not part of the free legal aid scheme. There are just young lawyers who are not that much experienced, who are in part of, who just in order to earn money or just to start the earning in their profession, they have been made part of this free legal aid scheme. So this was the issues which was raised by the prisoners. And secondly, as far as the lawyers were concerned, when we interviewed the lawyers, then they said that we are being the amount which is being paid to us is very meager. In this meager amount, we are not in a position to effectively fight the case of the client. We have to pay money from our own pockets also in certain situations. So this is one of the issues which was faced by the lawyers. And thirdly, as far as the clients were concerned who were in need of legal aid, we asked them that, are you aware about the free legal aid scheme or not? Then their reply was also, majority said that yes, we are aware, but we will not avail this particular aid because we cannot expect a lawyer that he will fight our case very effectively, that is also free of cost. So we came to this conclusion that the people, though they are aware, but they are not in a position to trust the free legal aid scheme. So there are issues which are being faced at each and every level. And a bigger question which was raised, that if this is the way by which free legal aid is being provided to the society, then will the true objective behind introducing this mechanism be achieved or not? And secondly, if we want to create a just society, and if we want to ensure the administration of justice, especially to the poor class, then will this mechanism be quite sufficient to administer justice to the poor or not? So as far as the solution is concerned, we have to work in multiple directions. First of all, it becomes the responsibility of the state that the uneven distribution of resources should be covered. The society, it should be, the resources should be evenly distributed among all the masses, so that the gulf between the rich and the poor can be eliminated. And secondly, the literacy levels should be improved throughout the country.
Your time is up.
Yes. So at last, I would just like to say that until we are able to follow high moral values, we are able to realize the worth of our profession, change will not come in our society. Thank you.
So our next participant is Nitish Sharma. Nitish Sharma, are you there? Oh, sorry.
Bhumi is done with.
Okay, I'm really very sorry. So our next participant is Bhavna P. Are you there, Bhavna?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now that I look back in retrospection, I can't help but feel privileged. I can't help but think about how I'm here at this very moment, attempting to deliver a speech only because of my predicated benefit of being educated and for knowing my rights, procedures, and redressals. As a law student myself, I've come to the fine realization of how complex, dynamic, and vast the legal system is. In fact, the laws are not constructed in a manner a common person would comprehend it in the first attempt. Many legal forms are like modern-day literacy tests. The Indian legal system has a bunch of loopholes and major modifications to be made. One of the biggest civil injustices is not having equal rights under the law. What we have is equal rights if you can afford a lawyer. Telling a person to go find a lawyer when they obviously can't afford one is out of touch, intimidating, unfair, and wrong. And for the rescue, we have legal aid. Legal aid exists to provide free legal assistance to low-income families. It helps people out of the vicious legal issues. The great masterminds behind the Indian Constitution have clearly specified a provision for legal aid. Under Article 39A of the Constitution, the state shall ensure every citizen is given equal justice under the law. It exclusively mandates that people who can't afford a lawyer must be given free legal aid. But do you think major masses are aware of this constitutionally protected right, considering the fact India's illiteracy rate is sky high? And that right there is where the problem arises. There is a lack of public legal education and awareness. Not everyone knows the law, nor do we have enough facilities to access it. Now, I'd like to take a moment to be real in here. I'm a law student. I spend a lot of my time and energy in studying the law and learning how to apply it in various real-life scenarios. It requires a lot of monetary resources and it takes away almost entirely my youth. And once I graduate, I would rather work in the corporate field than do this legal aid thingy. And that right there is where the problem arises. There is a lack of support and voluntary approaches from the lawyers. There have been a lot of legal awareness programs. Many NGOs have been stepping forward to contribute, and there have been legal literacy missions being carried out. But is there any guarantee that every single unprivileged person is being benefited? Is there any guarantee that people wouldn't want to take away their own lives for being unable to come out from the legal issues? The answer is undoubtedly no. So I randomly came across this young American civil entrepreneur. His name is Rohan. He runs a non-profit called Absolve. It is an app which empowers people to solve their own legal issues all by themselves, free of cost. And I wish India comes up with similar approaches. And I would like to conclude by quoting, "Injustice anywhere is a threat, justice everywhere." Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. So our next contestant is Naina. Naina, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible and visible both, so you can begin.
Like, true freedom requires the rule of law and justice and a judicial system which which the right of some are not secured by the denial of right to others. So a very pleasant good afternoon to one. Here this is Simon Chatham. So first let us have a discussion on free legal aid. Recognizing the need of justice to poor, the concept of legal aid came into force in India. Article 39A of Indian Constitution ensures free legal aid to poor to promote justice. Various measures of legal aid were developed by Justice N.H. Bhagwati by Bombay High Court Legal Aid, made under the Article 14, Clause 3 and Subclause A, has ratified this convention in 1976. Moreover, Section 304 of CRPC's 1973 guarantees pleader the court shall assign a pleader for his defense of an expensive of state. The real step towards free legal aid was taken in 1987 when the Indian Parliament enacted the Legal Service Authority Act. So I would like to discuss some main reasons. I would like to discuss some main reasons like main reasons nation legal service authorities are not being able to deliver legal aid. There are generally lack of awareness of the ability of the free legal aid, and people are not aware of their fundamental rights and the legal system in India. Legal system of India. The perception of the people is that free legal service is incompatible with quality service. There are not enough lawyers delivered by the Legal Service Authority, and lawyers are generally uninterested to provide their efforts to the cases of free legal aid. So I would like to suggest some ways forward for the legal aid in India. The poor illiterate should be educated, and the various camps should be conducted to make them educated at the grassroots and to make them aware of their fundamental constitutional rights and legal rights. And the legal service authority provides sufficient funds because no one should be deprived of their professional advice and lack of funds under the Article 21. The legal services of India or judiciary should came up with the provisions to provide justice and providing them laws. So I would like to conclude with the words of Mahatma Gandhi: justice to make justice visible. Thank you.
Thank you, Naina.
So we have successfully completed our elocution competition, and I hope you all have enjoyed it throughoutly. Thank you for participating. It had been a great fun and learning event. I think that everyone is going to take something from here. Now, may I invite our honorable judges to say some words about the event. Now, I welcome Kamal sir for sharing his informative. So please share your thoughts, sir.
Thank you, Krishna. There are all the students that shared their views or ideas, basically, whatever they have. But it is clear from all the participants that there are lacunas in the system which needs to be attended at all levels. One Nitish Sharma has rightly pointed out, because it was basically a survey done by the NLU Delhi. I was also a part of that because I contacted all throughout India to facilitate them in many ways. And there are many ways that we have received many complaints from that poor people to whom we have given legal aid, that the advocates are demanding money, they are not appearing before the court. But it's it's a not matter that the advocate is appearing before the court or not, whether he is from the legal aid. It's a common problem that we found that the advocates are not appearing before the court or not seriously taking up. It's a technical matter, basically. Another words he has put, Mr. Nitish, that the advocates, those who are legal aid advocates, are not putting their efforts before the court for fighting for proper representation of the litigants. So that is also a. And another was amount is very meager. Now I would like to say to the Nitish and other the participants that we are paying handsome to the advocates. On time we are paying, and we are checking every month. We are getting information from all the levels that the fee is paid on time to the advocates timely. Another, that awareness is a problem because we are also associating with Anganwadi workers. Most of lot of our several lot of Anganwadi workers are associated with us as paralegal volunteers also in many villages. So there is lacuna also. We have to strengthen the awareness among the people, and the state responsibility. Of course, it is the duty of the state to take responsibility if somebody face any difficulty in getting legal aid or access to justice. And resources, basically there is a lacuna that the government is not sharing that proper support to our systems at the grassroots level. We are also facing, so we are strengthening. And regarding this, I would like to give one presentation so that our students, those who have participated in this competition, may have some ready hand information, which is on the basis of that we are conducting rightly, what we are doing, and what are the provisions, what are the schemes of National Legal Services Authority to reach out the poor people at the grassroots level. We are strengthening and we are working hard at all levels, and we are trying to achieve our that target which assigned by the Constitution of India to National Legal Services Authority. And we at the we can't control each and everything at NALSA level. It is the duty of all the state legal services authority at the state level to strengthen the systems, but it is basically a responsibility of the National Legal Services Authority to monitor the activities and the services provided at the each levels. So we at the central level trying our level best. Our Honorable Mr. Justice UU Lalit has been nominated chairman of this authority, and every day I would like to inform this this platform that every day His Lordship is taking meetings with us and trying to strengthen our legal aid system and trying to find out the lacunas which are prevailing at the grassroots level, which can be attended at the earliest. So if permission with the chair, I can proceed with the presentation.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Thank you.
Kamal sir, can you take Patil sir view and then you can have a presentation?
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Patil sir?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. And I think the Kamal sir has taken a maximum use of the opportunity, because the visions and the concerns expressed by the students have been heard by right person. And definitely he is the man who can do something about the concerns raised by you all. Now, I being a teacher and I being a part of the legal aid activities of the college, I'm making some observations about the competition. I'm not getting into the area of Kamal sir because he is going to give us some information about the whole legal aid thing. Now here, my concern is legal aid and the law college. See, Legal Service Authority is doing its job. And as Kamal sir himself said, that there are lacunas and they are ready to plug them and they are working towards it. In the meantime, as a law college, as a law institutions, what is our role in providing justice to the people in need? access to justice for the people in marginalized group. Are we doing enough? Because a college, an institution without social concern or without social belongingness, sitting in an ivory tower and teaching about what law is, doesn't make sense. The student, the children has to step out of the campus, enter the society and see in reality what happens. For all the institutions, maybe science institutions like engineering, medical and others, for them there is a laboratories where they can function, they can sit and do the experiments. For a social science students like law, for us, society is our laboratory. And we have to enter society and study by ourselves. And then only we are going to learn the intricacies of the profession. Never do legal aid because you are helping someone as a charity. Do legal aid as an opportunity to learn, because the experience that you gain from the legal aid is immeasurable, because you never get in a classroom teaching. You can inquire with the Kalpesh that how much he learned in the field when he has entered into the society and did the job, did this legal aid thing. He has become a different man because of that exposure. As far as competition is concerned, it's a closely fought competition. And I was worried about the vastness of the topic, but you all did concise it very well. Only one suggestion, that don't waste time in exchanging the pleasantries, that you have chosen a right topic, great topic, the organizing institution have organized well. You can tell that in the valedictory function. But when you are given 3 minutes to speak about the topic. And second thing is, the voice modulations are something which are very, very important in a competitions like this, because here you are not expected to tell what you know. You're going to convey what you want to know. Telling and conveying, the difference is voice modulation, body language, and attracting the attention of the people who are listening to you. If the judge yawns, that means you are not doing your job correctly. He should be very attentive to your statements. So that is what is expected. So do not spend time in appreciating things. And one thing I appreciate is all of you, without any exceptions, have done covered everything, that is issues, challenges, as well as solutions. I was more interested in solutions. I know Kamal sir is also very much looking forward to the solutions rather than harping on the problems that we have in hand. But there are very, very nice solutions propounded by the students. And I don't get into individuals because it may reveal out our results, so that I will hold on to that. But again, in the era of globalization, as Mr. Akhil had mentioned, in the era of globalization, in the era of mass communication and communication revolution, it's the technology which is going to help in every challenges that human beings are facing. So with these few words, thank you very much, sir. Kamal sir, for you now.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. May
Yes,
I
sir.
begin, sir?
Yes, sir.
Everybody is able to see my screen?
No, sir.
Not yet, sir.
Hello?
Not yet, sir.
Hello?
It's not visible.
Hello?
Yes, sir. The screen is
Am
not
I
visible.
audible? Am I audible?
You are audible, but your screen is not visible, sir.
Not visible. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now? Now visible?
Yes, now it's visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to say that there are that figure is there, that largest country area is we are basically covering. Population is 1.3 billion. Rural population is 63%, 66%, and urban is 34%. So basically, that in urban areas we are we are able to reach out to the peoples because they are in urban areas and we have the resources to reach out that. But there that 66% rural areas basically we have to cover, and there are many terrain where we can that we have to reach there. Gangas and everything is there. We have 6 lakhs plus villages in India, and we have 122 major languages and 1599 languages in this country. So we have to cover because the legal aid is not small, as earlier discussed, that legal aid is a vast area in which we have to work. And second is major access to justice is barriers. Basically, what are the barriers before the access to justice? So one is poverty, basically poverty, legal literacy, as all our participants has rightly pointed out, because most of the participants are clearly indicated about the legal literacy. Illiteracy or literacy is required basically. So legal literacy is there. So we have to improve that. We have to reach out to them. Social inequalities are there, which are the basically various. Complex judicial processes is there. Geographical barriers are also there because we have many geographical barriers, so we have to reach out. Lack of presence of lawyers in villages and far-flung areas. Basically, the legal practitioners are basically in urban areas. So we are basically have some problems. So it is the major access to justice barriers in our system that we are taking up. Another is constitutional basis of legal aid, as everybody says that the preamble of the constitution mentioned justice, social, economic and political. So that is the things, and Article 39A provides the opportunity to all who are needy basically. That is the main things. Legislative framework is there, that Legal Services Authority is elected 95, came to force in 1995, thereafter provide for constitutional legal service institutes at the national and district level, and all are functioning. Basically, I would like to say to all the our dear students and participants that our institute at our all levels, our offices at all level from Taluka to Supreme Court is functioning, operational, and we are giving funds to proper funds, adequate funds to the. Some students pointed out that they have crunch of the funds. Now I would like to say our dear students that we are providing sufficient funds as per the requirement of the districts and our talukas and the states. We are providing sufficient funds to them. Spell out eligible categories. Actually, we have special categories in that 12 out of 12H. Also, the state have included many our inclusions. They have that senior citizens and transgenders. They have included for free legal aid in the out of the national act. Functions of legal service institutions are already functioning there. This is the framework of our institution, NALSA and Supreme Court Legal Services Committee. Somebody wants to get legal aid, the Supreme Court Legal Services Committee, they may approach to the Supreme Court Legal Service Committee directly, or we have a portal at National Legal Services Public Portal so that people can file a complaint at NALSA seeking legal aid at Supreme Court or High Court committees for High Court and district level and taluka level. We have the automatic system. Once we get the complaint at national level, NALSA level, we forward those complaints immediately on the same day. I would like to submit before the platform that we are forwarding complaints which are receiving at the central level online or offline, whatever mode we are receiving, we are putting on the online mode and forwarding to all the concerned authorities. So it is the functions and pattern chief of NALSA, and senior most judge is our NALSA's executive chairman. Likewise, member secretary is also judicial officer. At all levels, we have the sitting judges at all levels. At the district level also, district judge is the chairperson of that district legal service authority chairperson, and the secretary is the chief judicial magistrate or the senior civil judge is there, and the taluka level also judges. So all that headed by the judges. Basically, I would like to say before this, the dear students and participants, that we have the hierarchy at the grassroots level and working properly, monitoring properly, but it will take time because the time taking, because we have to cover each and every component of this society. So we have to work out, and we are working. This is the scenario that how many judges we have, how many panel lawyers. Now we have reduced that panel lawyers from 61,000 to 40,000 around, and paralegal volunteers also, in which our Anganwadi workers also included, and our students also. There are a lot of students, law college students who are our paralegal volunteers, and we are paying for them also. We have fixed the honorarium for them, 500 rupees for that one. So we are that doing. This is the we can say the institutions how we work. 36 state authority, now it has come 37 because the Ladakh included. This is the section. Unique features of legal aid I would like to mention: all women, children, persons in custody entitled to free legal aid, and no means test applied to them. Around 80% of the population is eligible for legal aid, and free legal aid given in civil and criminal matters. In both matters we are providing legal aid. Legal aid not confined to providing of lawyers. We are at pre-litigation stage also, we are taking up the matters. Those who are not in the pending in the court, at pre-litigation stage also, we are taking up all the matter. Whatever matter we can take up, include reaching out to peoples. We are organizing outreach programs to reach out the peoples at the grassroots level. And that also I already explained. The institutions are manned by the judicial officers. What are the functions? Basically, what we are doing, that social justice litigation, we can file free legal aid, advice, counseling, legal awareness, conducting lok adalats. Every quarter we are conducting lok adalats, state lok adalat, national lok adalat. In addition to that, we are conducting state lok adalat also. So each month in some states we are organizing everyday lok adalat. Yani every day we have lok adalats. And promoting ADR system methods also, that many ADR systems we are conducting. Preventing and strategic intervene programs, we have 11 schemes of National Legal Services Authority, includes that acid attack survivors scheme, victim assistance programs that covers under that. So we have most that 11 schemes. Our students may go through our website and go through the schemes also that are there. Everything is there. And legal aid lawyers, basically criteria which we have fixed, that shall be a legal practitioner, empaneled shall be accompanied by a proof of professional experience 3 years. Now that panel lawyers may comprise of legal practitioners from different sections of the society. Senior lawyers can be empaneled without any applications also. Our chairperson is competent to empanel or impart any case comes to them, and they can identify the case and give that case to any senior lawyers who are really want to do the legal aid work. So we are doing that one also. The parameters of the selections are there. What are the parameters which we are conducting? Competence and integrity, punctuality, communication skills, capability of doctrinal research, skill of cross-examination, articulation of submitting final argument before the court, sincerity and commitment, and others. There are several parameters we are conducting. Basically now we are the tools which we are taking up: legal awareness, tools of legal empowerment, legal awareness programs we are conducting, legal services camps we are conducting, campaigns in the pandemic also, virtually in association with National Commission for Women. We are conducting lot of programs, campaigns, print and media. Some students and participants were pointed out that there is no that awareness through print. So we are doing that one, print and electronic media, legal services clinics, preventive and strategic interventions or their public interest litigation, legal literacy clubs, legal aid clinics in law colleges. It's our tools of legal empowerment. So we are doing that one at the central level. We have that front offices, legal advice and assistance. We have front offices in each districts. Now we are planning to open at each BDO's office where the district's offices. We are planning out, and very soon it will definitely will that we will be able to set up all those daily updating of proceedings of legal aid cases. Now we have started through the front offices. We are whatever cases of legal aid is there in the districts, we are preparing of daily that legal aid cases list, so that everyone will be able to see, the litigants also may be able to see the lists. That software also works, that we have the software through which, but peoples are basically at the grassroots level, they don't have the facility to avail that facility. But we have the facility, we have done the computerization of all our talukas, districts and everything there, and we have given the username password to the lawyers also. Lawyers can see the applications directly to them, they can respond to the applicant also, that everything is there. But thing is that we have to use that system. Now we have pressing hard to all levels to use that software, so that we can improve the efficiency in providing access to justice. Legal services clinics are there. Legal services clinics work like a single window facility. Legal advice, other everything is there, which act as bridge between the needy and the benefit providers basically. So we are doing that one. The data is older one. Monitoring and mentoring committee is there, committee at all levels. So we are monitoring and mentoring our institutions properly. Now we are emphasizing on that to improve the system. Recent initiatives which we have taken, I would like to know, which is very latest one. Early access to justice at pre-arrest and arrest and remand stage. Basically, earlier that Mr. Nitish Sharma also told that those who are in the jails, so that are getting legal aid. But before that also, at pre-arrest and arrest and remand stage also, now we are planning to give information at the time of lodging the FIR. If FIR is lodged from itself, from that place itself, we will mention that legal aid, if any applicant or needy intend to get legal aid may get legal aid. So we are we will be able to spread information at the pre-stage also, and provide the legal aid at the pre-stage. So we have assigned the advocates at the police stations also. From there they can get the legal aid. Legal aid defense counsel system is basically launched recently, and in some states, in around 122 districts, we have opened legal aid defense counsel system. Through that, there will be a 5% at the district level, and will have full-fledged office there. The computerization, computers will be there, typing and typist will be there. So chief legal defense counsel will be there, deputy chief defense counsel will be there, and two assistant will be there. And all the cases, those who need legal aid and those who will come to us at the district level, those cases will be assigned to the defense counsel system. In criminal case,
Hello. Kamal sir? Bhumi?
Yes, sir. He's not audible,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I guess there is some network issue, I guess.
Hello, Kamal sir.
Sir, I think he's left the meeting up because of network errors.
By the time we can ask feedback from the participants.
Yeah, sure, sir. So the platform is open to all the participants. Uh, they can just give up their feedbacks or suggestions for our competition.
Yes, Kamal sir.
No issue. Please continue because that laxity issues is there.
Okay,
Something
no problem.
went wrong in the technical problem is there. But I am in the meeting right now.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's all that the system that I would like to share with my views and that one that we are working at. I'm sure that we will be able to hear the views basically and suggestions that challenges being faced in that legal aid in providing legal aid. So that we are taking up, and it's a good suggestions we got from the participants basically, because we will take up these issues. I will take up those issues and will forward to the competent authority, because it's our baby to take up all those things. So we will do our level best, and I will congratulate to all the participants, those who have participated. It's a different thing who will win, who will not win, who will become first or second or third. That is the other thing. But all the students, those who have participated in this program, really it was wonderful program for us and for the Parul Institute of Law also, Parul University also, because it's a great initiative taken by the university, and I will congratulate all of you that you people have conducted this type of program so that we can get suggestions also from the students, because they will be the participants will be the future. Basically they are the futures of India. If they will be able to. Now one thing also I would like to share with you, that we are going to include our curriculum in the syllabus at the schools levels that are going on in some of the states. We have already they have already put our syllabus, our legal aid system in the curriculum in the school level, and we are trying to that to include in all the states, so that at the initial stage the students will be able to know their rights, what are their rights in the legal aid system or in access to justice system. That will definitely will prove. And I will thank all of you, especially that Kalpesh sir and other his team, and all Patil sir, everything that really it was grateful for me as well as, and I can say that for the institutions also, because all the students done brilliantly, because that they're sharing the views, it may be the different, but their heart, we can say that whatever they want to communicate or want to do to improve the system, they have expressed their views. So we will congratulate to all the participants that in future also they will participate and will give suggestions to the Parallel University as well as to NALSA, so that we can improve the system. Thank you all of you. Thank you very much for
Thank you very much.
giving opportunity to me, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your really inspiring. We are really very grateful to have you both here. Your presence has marked a great privilege for all of us. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you very much,
Now
Patil
I
sir.
just
Yeah. Thank you very much, Patil sir, Kamal sir, for sparing your valuable time on this Saturday, because I've been and then every time Patil sir and Kamal sir is ever ready, every time he respond to my mails and messages whenever I send them, and this time really supporting this event was very different, not like different, I can say
Kalpesh sir, one thing I missed.
Yes.
If you allow me to please speak 1 minute.
Yes, yes, yes,
That
yes.
pro bono we left out. Basically, you are also very much associated with the pro bono. How we can improve the legal aid system? Basically, our participants should know the about the pro bono. What is pro bono basically? And legal aid, those who are associated with the NALSA, DALSA and SALSA everywhere is basically not for earning or not getting any salary or everything, just to uplift the society. Basically, it is a cause, social cause. Basically, we should not think some that advocate think that we are not getting handsome amount from them, because this is a social cause. We have to contribute our whatever manner we can contribute to the society by way of becoming a lawyer, advocate, lawyer, and pro bono lawyer. Pro bono means how we can improve the system, like that in pro bono, if we will work with the pro bono or with the pro bono lawyers will appear before the court, they will not have any that personal things that they will get. Only thing that they will appear before the court, and the litigant will get basically that out of it whatever they will get, but there will be no interest in that in pro bono cases. So we are appealing to our senior advocates at the Supreme Court level, at the High Court level, at the district level, to please associate with NALSA, SALSA or Department of Justice to become pro bono and take the cases. Even if a good lawyer, senior lawyer will take one case in a year at least and appear before the court, then thereafter our system definitely that negative thoughts will remove from the society which did not want to take legal aid at the grassroots level. So that thing can be improved by pro bono also. Pro bono's services definitely will improve the system. Thank you very much. And you, Kalpesh sir, are doing wonderful job for pro bono work. I'm really thankful to you that you people are really doing wonderful job in pro bono also. Thank you, sir. Thank you giving me an opportunity after the speak also, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
So I'll request all the participants to turn on their cameras, open their mic, and give us your feedback. Your feedback is very valuable to us.
So may I?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizing team and the esteemed judges for organizing such a great national elocution competition. There were some points which I would have missed, but my fellow mates mentioned. So overall, it was a good learning experience, and this is what keeps us motivated during the pandemic, right? So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
People are tired. Like, we'll be closing in.
Anyone else?
Anyone else?
May I?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sure.
I would like to thank Parul University for such a great opportunity on this platform, and the competition was overall very enlightening. I would like to put forward a request that for other competitions in the future, there should be a time slot where two opponents can discuss their opinions, so that it would be more a competitive feeling, and there would be cross questioning also. In the preliminary round there was cross questioning. I really liked that. I wish it was also the case in the final round. Thank you all.
Thank you. We'll take a note of it.
Yeah, anyone else?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, first of all, I just want to congratulate Parul University for organizing this wonderful event today. And I didn't find any problem in the event. And in future also, I just expect that such kind of events will be organized. And I congratulate Parul University for the same. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Meenakshi, Naina, Nayama, Bhavna, Anyone else?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Ma'am, I'm really thankful for the opportunity and grateful to be here. And thank you for all your efforts, and through which like I've learned really a lot of things through this competition. And thank you all of you to organize this wonderful competition. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
May I? Am I audible?
Yes.
Actually, I want to thank and congratulate the event was organized very well, and also thank you for both our judges, and we have noted our pleasant minus where we are lagging here and there. Definitely, I'll be correcting next time, and also I learned a lot in this after participating in this event. Definitely, I'll put this in my mind, and I'll definitely use these things in my future as well. Thank you once again. I thank all of you for creating this opportunity to learn a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening. Firstly, I would like to thank each one of you for all the support, especially the host of all the meetings. You guys were really friendly. At the same time, all the organizers, IT department behind the screen, which we never actually kind of see, but still they have also done a very great job. And secondly, to all the panelists and the judges. Actually, it's the first introduction that actually cooled us down and actually reminded us what to say and what not to say, and like express on our views and thoughts. And to all my fellow me's, congratulations to making up to the top 10, and as well as more than a competition, let's take this as a learning opportunity, and let's join the hands together, not just for this competition, but in the field of legal aid also. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And at the last feedback, anyone else? Okay, send a WhatsApp message also. Don't worry, anything, any feedback or anything else that we need to improve. And let me tell you, thank my all the team members, right? Only Krishita is there, Krishita and Bhumi is there. They're all the people, they were involved in primary rounds, and they really have done all the events that what we have been doing. So almost done by first year and second year students. So really appreciate their effort, and they keep improving. Let me tell you, because I know them when they joined college, and then look at the way they are performing. And then this kind of topics, if you go through it's some previous the competition that we have done. So they are doing wonderful job. So thank you very much, Krishita, Bhumi, and all the team members for making a lot of effort for making this event a successful one. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I have a general request to all of you.
Yes.